Imagine being born on a sheet of ice in the middle of a frozen ocean. Your mother has maybe 2 weeks to teach you everything before leaving you alone. You can't fight, you can't run fast, and from the moment you're born, danger is everywhere. Orcas hunt with military precision, sharks wait below, polar bears stalk from above, and even if you survive all that, humans can appear to finish the job. This is the life of a seal. Today, I'm going to show you exactly why being one of the ocean's most hunted animals is an absolute nightmare. A seal's life does not start in a warm place or a safe den. It begins on a piece of ice floating in the middle of a frozen ocean where temperatures can drop to -40 degrees Celsius. There is no shelter, only cold wind and ice. Seal pups are born with almost no body fat. Their thin white fur looks soft, but it does almost nothing to protect them from the cold. Within hours, they are already fighting to stay warm. Their mothers know this, so they stay close, wrapping their bodies around the pup to share heat. But there is a big problem. The mother can only stay for about 12 days. Just 12 days. That's all. In those 12 days, the pup must drink as much milk as it can. Seal milk is extremely rich, almost 50% fat, so the pup can gain up to 5 pounds a day. It's a race to build enough body fat to survive, because once those 12 days are over, the mother leaves to hunt in the ocean and the pup is left alone on the ice. Now imagine this. You are a 3-week-old seal. You have never hunted before. You cannot swim well. You do not know how to find food. And you're sitting on a small piece of ice in one of the most dangerous places on Earth. The weather alone is terrifying. Blizzards appear without warning. Winds can reach 60 miles per hour. The ice under you cracks and moves. If you fall into the water too early, you drown. If you stay on the ice too long, you starve. And then there are the predators. Polar bears can smell a seal pup from over a mile away. They walk across the ice quietly, waiting for the right moment to attack. Arctic foxes look for abandoned or weak pups too. Even large seabirds can attack very small pups. In some seal populations, studies show that almost 50% of pups do not survive their first year. Half of them never make it. It's not really a childhood. It's a survival lottery, and most pups lose. Let's say you survive those first few weeks. Congratulations. But now, you enter the part of your life where something is hunting you almost every single day. Seals are prey animals. That is their role in the ecosystem, and the predators that hunt them are some of the smartest and most dangerous on the planet. Orcas, for example, do not just attack seals. They plan their hunts. In many places, orcas work together to create waves that wash seals off ice floes and straight into the water. And once you are in the ocean, it's over. Orcas are faster, stronger, and incredibly intelligent. They will toss a seal around like a toy before ending the hunt. Leopard seals are another threat. Yes, seals hunt other seals. Leopard seals wait beneath the ice, watching for movement. When a smaller seal enters the water, they strike from below with rows of sharp, interlocking teeth. Once they grab you, there is almost no escape. Great white sharks use a similar strategy. They stay below seal colonies, waiting. The moment a seal dives in, the shark launches upward at full speed, sometimes hitting with so much force that both animals fly out of the water. The impact alone can kill a seal instantly. So every single day, a seal lives with danger coming from every direction. Every dive could be the last. Every moment on ice could end in an ambush. There is no true escape, and there is no real safety. And here is the real problem. Seals have almost no defense, no claws, no strong bite, nothing. Their only choices are to run, dive, or hide, and even those options do not guarantee safety. They are fast swimmers, but orcas and sharks are still faster. They can hold their breath for a long time, but sooner or later they have to come up for air. And when they do, a predator could already be waiting right at the surface. And when they are on land, things do not get any better. Seals are slow and clumsy out of the water. They can only drag themselves forward while predators like polar bears or wolves move quickly and quietly. In moments like that, the seal has almost no chance. So day after day, a seal lives with danger coming from every direction. Every dive could be the last. Every quiet moment on the ice could turn into a trap. There is no real escape, and for a seal, there is never a place that feels completely safe. Now let's talk about food, because even if a seal manages to avoid predators, it still has to eat just to stay alive. And for a seal, eating is not a simple task. It is a full-time battle. Seals need huge amounts of food every single day. Their bodies burn through calories at an incredible rate because they are always fighting the cold. That thick layer of blubber they rely on for warmth does not come for free. Building it and keeping it requires a constant supply of fuel. That is why seals spend most of their day hunting. They dive deep into the ocean, sometimes more than 1,000 feet down, searching for fish, squid, and krill. These dives can last 20 minutes or longer. During each dive, they are holding their breath, swimming through near total darkness and hoping they do not run into a predator waiting below. And deep diving is not easy. The pressure down there is crushing. Seals have adapted to handle it, but it still pushes their bodies to the limit. Their heart rate slows down. Their blood flow shifts to protect their most important organs. Everything inside them works at the edge of what their biology can handle. But here is the hardest part. Sometimes there is simply no food to find. The ocean is unpredictable. Fish move to new areas. Squid disappear without warning. Storms stir up the water and scatter prey. And climate change makes everything even worse. As the ocean warms and the ice melts, the ecosystem seals depend on begin to fall apart. Entire food chains shift, leaving seals searching longer and harder for every meal. So a seal can dive for hours, burn through all its energy, and still come up empty. If that happens too often, the seal eventually weakens and dies. Starvation is one of the leading causes of death, especially for young seals who are still learning how to hunt. They dive, they search, they fail, and slowly they run out of strength. For a seal, finding food is not just a challenge. It is a daily race against time and exhaustion. If you are a male seal and you actually survive long enough to reach breeding age, congratulations. But things are not about to get easier. Now you enter one of the most brutal parts of a seal's life, fighting for the right to mate. During mating season, male seals gather on beaches or ice floes and compete for territory. And when I say compete, I do not mean loud calls or displays. I mean full-on, violent fights. Take male elephant seals, for example. They can weigh over 4,000 pounds. When two males challenge each other, they rise up and slam their massive bodies together. They bite each other's necks, tearing through skin and blubber. Blood spills onto the ice, and these battles can drag on for hours. And it is not just about showing off strength. It is about survival. Only the dominant males get to mate. The losers are left injured, exhausted, and sometimes they do not recover. Many die later from their wounds or from starvation because they burn through every bit of their energy trying to win. And females do not escape the chaos either. During breeding season, they are often surrounded by multiple males fighting over them. In some species, a female can be trying to nurse her pup while 2 or 3 males battle nearby. She can get bitten, crushed, or pushed away from her own baby. In extreme cases, pups are trampled to death in the middle of these fights. Nothing about this process is gentle. There is no romance, no calm courtship, just stress, aggression, and survival. And when all of this is over, the female gives birth on the ice, and the entire cycle starts again. Let's zoom out for a moment and talk about the world seals live in. Because even without predators, the environment alone is harsh enough to kill them. Seals live in some of the coldest and most unforgiving places on Earth: the Arctic, Antarctica, and the remote sub-Antarctic islands. These are places where temperatures stay below freezing, storms appear out of nowhere, and the landscape is always shifting and breaking apart. Ice is supposed to be a safe place for seals. They rest on it, give birth on it, and escape predators by climbing onto it. But ice is unpredictable. It cracks, it melts, it drifts across the ocean. A seal can wake up stranded on a shrinking piece of ice with no way back to land. And then there are the storms. Waves can rise up to 30 feet high. Winds can hit hurricane strength. If a seal is caught in the open ocean during a storm, it can get tossed around, separated from its group, or drowned by the violent waves. Even on land, the environment is tough. Rocky beaches scrape and tear at their skin. Sharp ice cuts their flippers. Moving across this terrain is exhausting and painful, and seals have no choice but to drag their bodies forward. And the cold never stops. Even with their thick blubber, seals constantly fight to keep their body temperature stable. If they stay in freezing water for too long, they risk hypothermia. If they stay on the ice in extreme cold, they can freeze. Every choice has a cost. Seasonal changes make things even harder. As the ice moves and melts, seals have to migrate to new areas. They follow the food and the safe resting places. But migration is risky. New waters mean new predators, new dangers, and new challenges. The environment does not care if a seal is tired, hungry, or injured. It keeps pushing, and if the seal cannot keep up, it does not survive. And then there is us, humans, the final threat, and honestly, the worst one seals have ever faced. For centuries, humans hunted seals for their fur, their blubber, and their oil. Millions were killed. Some populations were pushed to the edge of extinction. And even today, in a few parts of the world, seal hunting still continues. But hunting is only the beginning of the damage. Every year, countless seals die after getting caught in fishing nets. It is called bycatch. A seal swims into a net meant for fish, gets tangled, and cannot reach the surface to breathe. They drown slowly, trapped in equipment that was never meant for them. Oil spills are another nightmare. When oil coats a seal's fur, it destroys the insulating layer that keeps them warm. Without that protection, a seal can freeze to death in the same icy water it has lived in its whole life. And pollution is everywhere. Plastics, chemicals, heavy metals. Seals absorb toxins through the fish they eat, and those toxins build up in their bodies. Over time, that leads to sickness, weaker immune systems, and even problems with reproduction. Then there is climate change, the biggest and most widespread threat of all. The ice is melting, oceans are warming, the entire environment seals depend on is shifting. Their hunting grounds are disappearing, their breeding areas are shrinking. Food becomes harder to find each year. Everything they rely on is falling apart. Human activity causes problems above the water, too. Boats and coastal development disturb seal colonies, forcing them away from safe resting spots. Noise from ships interferes with their communication and navigation. And tourism brings people too close, stressing the animals and sometimes even separating mothers from their pups. Humans have turned the ocean into a far more dangerous place than it ever was before, and unlike orcas or sharks, seals cannot adapt fast enough to survive the changes we have created. We are unpredictable, and our impact is everywhere. That is the life of a seal, born in freezing chaos, hunted from all sides, struggling for food in a shrinking world, fighting just to survive and raise their young, and facing a final threat that does not hunt to live, but for money and profit. It is a life full of danger and struggle. Yet, seals keep going. They adapt. They survive. They endure. If this video helped you see seals in a new way, hit the subscribe button. On this channel, I share amazing survival stories from nature every week. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself, and maybe take care of the ocean too.